where you live.
Two Arcata grandparents face a frightening encounter.
Thank God my husband has a gun.
How they took matters into their own hands. And what police say it had to do with the bitter cold.
And realtors often go into homes they don't know with people they've just met. Why the potential for violence has some of them taking up in arms.
Plus, a huge move in Washington.
This becomes law, of course it will open the government.
Democrats and Republicans come to an agreement to avoid another shutdown.
North Coast News starts right now.
Live from our studio in downtown Eureka, you're watching North Coast News on KAEF ABC 23. At 11, severe weather first.
I was out of my mind. I was so scared. And the night before, we had my grandkids here.
Arcata grandparents frightened for their lives after a home invasion early this morning.
What would you do if someone you didn't know was banging on your door in the middle of the night telling you to let them in?
One couple in Arcata actually had to answer that question, and they say because of their right to carry, they feel safer inside their home.
In the back of your mind, you don't think you would ever have to use it, but you hear stories where people break into your house and they find the people gone.
Jim and Zoraida Ouellette go to bed in their Arcata home Sunday night. After a day of snow, and as the sound of the winter wind blew outside their bedroom window.
And I looked out the window and there was somebody at the end of the court down on their knees screaming.
Jim says the man outside made his way toward their home.
And tried to get into our truck and was shaking it.
And what were you thinking at this? Like, did you?
I thought it was somebody trying to break in.
So Jim says his wife called Arcata police, but the situation grew worse.
And then he comes up to our front door. He started, please, please, open your door. I said, go away. Then he started banging on it, and I went back in the bedroom where I have my pistol locked up, and I grabbed my gun.
Jim says then the intruder kicked down their door.
You can see the door buckling, and then all of a sudden, everything, all the wood, everything just flew out, and he just stood there. And so I just held my gun there and waited for the police to get here.
Pointing a gun at this person who basically broke into their home.
Arcata Police Chief Brian Ahern says the man outside the Ouellette's house was looking for a place to get warm.
The subject was transported to the hospital where it was determined that he was suffering from some type of a potentially hypothermia.
However, Ahern says because of prior convictions, that suspect was booked into jail.
And I was scared to death. I wasn't sure what I was going to do.
Zoraida says her grandkids had stayed at their house just the night before, saying she's glad her husband had a gun.
Because you never know.
But once police told her the man had hypothermia, a moment of humanity, despite the terrifying ordeal.
I actually said, do you want a coat to give him? If I would have pulled the trigger, there would have been nothing happened to me, but thank God I didn't. I don't think I could have.
Now, no word on the suspect's condition at this hour, but APD does say he was treated and taken to jail.
New at 11, realtors often go into homes they don't know with people they've just met. Safety efforts have become a real focus, but the potential for violence has some of them taken up arms.
Yeah, Circa's Josie Sturman tells us how many agents are choosing guns for protection and explains how some states make it tougher to get them in tonight's Spotlight on America.
Scott Smith spends a lot of time at the range making sure if he has to use his gun, he's ready.
If you're going to carry a firearm, you need to be able to be proficient with it.
But Smith doesn't just shoot for sport. He legally carries a concealed gun for his job as a realtor.
People think that realtors have a lot of money, that they are rolling in the dough, so people automatically think, oh, there's an easy target.
A 2018 report from the National Association of Realtors showed 33% of those surveyed experienced a situation that made them fear for their safety. 5% said they'd been the victim of a crime at work.
We many times meet people in places that could put ourselves in peril.
Association President John Smaby says it's a priority for the organization, which in recent years has stepped up training and safety education for agents.
So I think safety should be top of mind every day for every realtor.
Many realtors like Smith are arming themselves. According to the latest NAR survey, 1 in 6 realtors carries a gun. High-profile cases can be a motivator.
This is the crime scene, the model home.
Among them, the murder of a Maryland man working alone at a model home in December.
A realtor and a father vanished.
A realtor gunned down last month in Utah while evicting a tenant.
They targeted her because she was a realtor.
And the chilling abduction and killing of Arkansas agent Beverly Carter.
Your brain just can't process the fact that your loved one was kidnapped and duct taped and put in the trunk of a car and later murdered.
Beverly Carter was missing for 5 days after showing a home to a couple that deliberately targeted the 50-year-old and deceived her.
We're so happy that justice has been served.
A foundation started by her son now works to train realtors on best safety practices. Simply carrying a gun, Carl Carter Jr. says, isn't enough.
A gun would not have saved my mother's life that day. There were a number of business decisions along the way that led her to that vacant room on the 2nd story of a home where she turned from taking a photograph and she was met with a taser in her side. There was no time to turn and grab a gun.
But for realtors who want the option to concealed carry, it's not as easy as just picking one up. The National Rifle Association says 8 states, mostly along the coasts, can put severe limits on those who want to legally carry.
It'll be restricted as to while you're doing business as a realtor, carrying cash deposits.
Scott Smith says arming yourself isn't for every realtor. For him, it's a personal choice, one he hopes he never has to put into action. I'm Circa's Josie Sturman with this Spotlight on America.
And for more on Beverly Carter's case and the efforts made to increase realtor safety in the wake of her death, check out circa.com.
New at 11, back in Humboldt, she was once named Miss Hoopa Valley, and today she was sentenced after pleading guilty to molesting a little girl. New Humboldt court records show 25-year-old Kayla Brown was charged with 2 felonies, sexual penetration of a minor under 16 and contact with a minor for sexual offense. Both crimes reportedly occurring between June of 2014 and January of 2015. She had her sentencing hearing this morning, where records show that the judge sentenced her to 120 days in jail starting March 16th, and she must register as a sex offender. Moving now to that historic heroin bust in Humboldt County.
Drug Task Force agents say they seized 12 pounds of heroin in Lolita yesterday in what they're calling the county's biggest heroin bust. Humboldt County Drug Task Force agents say Adrian Carlos Cota Alonso and Edgar Barragan Castano were suspected of dealing heroin to Humboldt communities. Agents pulling the suspects over on Hookton Road in Lolita yesterday, detaining them and serving up a search warrant.
Agents say they found all this in the car. Altogether, 12 pounds of heroin, the largest amount they say they've ever seized in Humboldt County at one time. They also reportedly found $6,000 in cash believed to be from heroin sales. Agents say the suspects, both from Mexico, were booked into jail on $100,000 bail each.
New at 11 and moving to politics now. Big news coming out of the Capitol tonight, where top congressional negotiators say they've come to a tentative agreement that would prevent another government shutdown at the end of the week.
This is a live look out of Capitol Hill, where nothing is set in stone just yet, but the 4 bipartisan lawmakers say the deal came thanks to serious give and take and good faith negotiations.
We've had a good evening. We reached an agreement in principle between us on the Homeland Security and the other 6 bills. Our staffs are going to be working feverishly to put all of the particulars together, and that's all we can tell you now. We're not getting into numbers and everything, but it's something that is a product of all of us' work, and we believe if this becomes law, of course it will open the government.
One source says the deal calls for nearly $1.4 billion that would be used for 55 miles of additional barriers.
Now, President Trump was notified about the tentative agreement. He said that regardless of whether or not the deal goes through, his long-promised border law would still be built. 2 aides, one Republican and Democrat, both say despite this apparent breakthrough, there's still a lot of details that need to be worked out.
Coming up on North Coast News.
And we take a look inside your world where migrant caravans first began to find out why people are fleeing their own homes.
And a final report on that Russia investigation is just around the corner. What one congressional committee is saying about the allegations.
Plus, here's a view down F Street here in Eureka. The winter weather is seen to ease up coming into our work week, but another one could be headed our way.
Yeah, you never really know, Dylan, what the weather will be like on the North Coast, right? Sunday was snowing. Today it was mostly clear. Well, coming up on North Coast News, First Alert meteorologist Rob Elvington will have the latest on that next storm system moving through. You don't want to miss that. The time is 11:10. I'm Nazy.
I'm Dylan Brown, and this is North Coast News.
Post Haste in Arcata is your one-stop shop for all your shipping and business services needs. It's the convenient location for live scan fingerprinting, notary, and passport photos. Receive all of your mail and packages safely with a private mailbox. Post Haste specializes in packing high-value art and collectibles and provides shipping through FedEx, the U.S. Postal Service, and freight. Printing services are always expanding. Whether you need menus, flyers, or brochures, Post Haste is the place. Your local shipping solution, Post Haste in Arcata.
Over 100 years ago, we were talking about the Model T. Now here we are, talking about winning the most J.D. Power IQS and Appeal Awards, talking about driver assist technology, talking about the highest customer loyalty in the country. But that's enough talking. Seriously, that was a lot of talking. Back to building.
Now get an extra $1,000 when you trade. That's another $1,000 on top of 0 for 60 plus $3,000 on F-150. Only at your California Ford dealers. Learn more at buyfordnow.com.
5 steps for perfect winter skin.
5 steps. My skin gets so dry and itchy, I need serious relief. That's why I use O'Keefe's Skin Repair. It's 48-hour moisture in one use and guaranteed relief for dry, itchy skin. Thanks to O'Keefe's, I got my skin back.
Reynolds Kitchens has eliminated plastic wrap frustration for good. To celebrate, award winner Jeff Russo composed the world's shortest victory song.
Yes.
This is the good stuff.
We know you don't have time to waste.
Traffic alert for drivers in Redding at this hour.
So weekday mornings, watch Daybreak.
See those showers, maybe some isolated thunderstorms, a little bit.
Good morning and welcome to Daybreak. I'm Kelly
Daybreak,
Sum.
every morning on KAEF Channel 23.
The Doctors.
Weekdays on ABC 23.
Good evening, and we are still expecting a very active next 5 to 6 days for the North Coast and all of Northern California, and even for most of the state of California, as we continue to see some strong low pressure systems interacting with a very strong atmospheric river, and that's subtropical and tropical moisture. So we do have some concerns for low snow, but also some higher snow levels heading through the next few days, and that's going to allow for rain to fall at much higher elevations than what we saw this past weekend. Of course, we were seeing snow down at sea level this past weekend. But look at this graphic. You'll notice the red contours, the deep red contours, that's 6 inches of liquid equivalent. And then once you head up into the pink contour, that's 8 inches of liquid equivalent. Of course, quite a bit of this in the higher peaks will fall in the form of snow, but we're going to see a little bit more rain at higher elevations than what we've seen over the last 10 days, and that will have to bring some concerns with runoff. So here's the setup right now. We've got 2 low pressure systems spinning off to our west and southwest. These are tapping into tropical and subtropical moisture. We call that an atmospheric river. And then we've got very cold air off to our west and northwest. We've got a trough or a dip in the jet stream. That trough is scooping up that low pressure system. So it's helping to pull that low right into Northern California. So it's going to ride the trough right into the west coast. And that low is going to bring that moisture in. So they're all working together, and that's all going to be directed at California over the next few days. Right now, we're just seeing some showers moving through the north coast. We're just getting started, and this will continue to be possible through the rest of the overnight hours and into your Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and of course Friday and Saturday. Wind advisory is in place all the way through lunchtime tomorrow for parts of Del Norte County. It's possible that we could see some more wind advisories or even high wind warnings issued for parts of the coast heading through the next few days. We'll let Precision Cast run all the way through about 8:30 tomorrow morning. You'll notice we're still seeing some of those scattered showers, some snow off to the east, and you'll notice snow falling right over top of Interstate 5. So let's say you're heading over 299 and into Shasta County onto I-5. You could be running into some snow for tomorrow. So we've got a band of rain that's setting up offshore, and you'll notice how this band starts to fill in. through the day tomorrow as that moisture gets pulled in, that subtropical moisture. And look at the heavy snow setting up off to the east, but eventually some of that warmer moisture will start to push those snow levels up. So you'll notice how some of these blues are changing over to greens throughout this animation. That's indicating some pretty heavy rain on top of that recent snowpack. So again, a lot of water coming down from those creek streams and rivers. We'll see the first system kind of finish up through the day on Wednesday, but watch this. Heading into Thursday, you'll notice how those blues change back over to greens. Another surge of tropical moisture moving back in with another low pressure system. But then you'll notice how the greens switch back over to blues heading into Thursday night and into Friday. So we will be tracking dropping snow levels for the second half of Thursday, Friday, and into Saturday. Marine forecast for tomorrow, south winds at 20 to 30 knots, waves out of the south, and you can see those strong southerly winds just offshore of the north coast. And look at some of those forecasts. And this is a much warmer system than what we saw this past weekend. So temperatures still up into the 50s for the coast and the inland.
It's the no commitment sale at Planet Fitness. For just 25 cents down, $10 a month with no commitment, you'll get tons of cardio and strength equipment, free fitness training, and a totally comfortable place to go at your happy pace. Get all this for just 25 cents down, $10 a month, no commitment. Now is the right time to join. Join in club or online at planetfitness.com. Planet Fitness, the judgment-free zone.
25 cents down, $10 a month. Join now. Planet Fitness at Bayshore Mall, Eureka.
When Girl Scout ingenuity meets Dunkin' Coffee, you get a cup of can-do. Girl Scout cookie-inspired flavors are back at Dunkin'. Try Thin Mints, Coconut Caramel, or Trefoil Shortbread flavors. And get your $2 medium latte or cappuccino from 2 to 6 p.m. America runs on Dunkin'.
Mucinex Cold and Flu all in one. Fight.
Oh, no.
Sore throat, fever, cough, sinus pressure, chest congestion, headache, nasal congestion, body pain, all in one.
Did you really need the caps lock?
Get tough on cold and flu symptoms. Mucinex Cold and Flu all in one.
When my occasional constipation is under control, I can get back to what really matters.
Dulcolax provides dependable, effective relief. Dulcolax tablets for overnight relief, suppositories for relief in minutes, and stool softener for comfortable relief. Dulcolax puts you comfortably in control.
Whether you were born for more dance-offs, more travels, or more touchdowns, get the immune support that gives you more. Airborne gummies have 50% more vitamin C than Emergency, plus our crafted blend of vitamins, minerals, and herbs. Airborne.
When Girl Scout ingenuity meets Dunkin' Coffee, you get a cup of can-do. Girl Scout cookie-inspired flavors are back at Dunkin'. Try Thin Mints, Coconut Caramel, or Trefoil Shortbread flavors. And get your $2 medium latte or cappuccino from 2 to 6 p.m. America runs on Dunkin'.
When my occasional constipation is under control, I can get back to what really matters.
Dulcolax provides dependable, effective relief. Choose stimulant-free Dulcolax stool softener for gentle, comfortable relief. Dulcolax puts you comfortably in control.
This portion of the news sponsored by McRae's Subaru.
Live from our studio in downtown Eureka, you're watching North Coast News on KAEF ABC 23. At 11, severe weather first.
Now at 11, President Trump was in El Paso today rallying for a wall as another government shutdown looms. Meanwhile, nearly 4,000 additional U.S. troops are heading to the border to help intercept Central Americans trying to make it to America.
Yeah, it's hard to remember a time when the border was more in the news. For migrants, the trek to America is grueling, more than 1,000 miles. Now, we wanted to know, why are they coming? What are they getting away from?
Inside Your World's Jonathan Elias traveled to the city of San Pedro Sula in Honduras, where the migrant caravans began to try to find out.
It is midnight here in San Pedro Sula, and this is where it all begins. They're boarding buses. All of them are heading north. If you talk to some, they'll admit the ultimate goal is to make it to the United States. This is the reason I'm leaving, this man told us. He is trying to make it to the United States, he said, because low wages here make it impossible to support his young family. This man says his tattoos make him a target for gangs, so his only choice to leave. Those can get him killed?
Sí.
Honduras is one of the poorest and most violent countries in Central America, surrounded by Spanish-speaking nations with stronger economies. Panama and Costa Rica have had generous asylum policies. And to the north, Guatemala and Mexico have been open to migrants in recent years. But despite that, many still choose the 1,600-mile trek to America.
It's been drilled into our heads since forever that it's the best nation in the history of the world. Why wouldn't anyone who's trying to save their life go to the best place?
Honduran photojournalist Tomas Ayoso has been documenting this flight for 4 years.
It is an exodus. At some point, only biblical terms come to mind when you talk about it.
A project he's entitled The Right to Grow Old.
These are the feet of a 15-year-old boy who walked through Mexico as he was trying to get away.
In flip-flops.
That's what he had.
There is poverty, violence, and corruption here. Some argue in the last few years, there has also been change.
My daughter is in Tennessee.
American pastor Stephen Petty believes that staying in Honduras is a better option.
I tell them, don't go. It's not worth it. What you're doing is breaking up your family. And that's what's hurting Honduras now, by all these people leaving, unless they leave as a family, but they don't.
17-year-old Axel and his 14-year-old girlfriend were leaving the day we met them. The gang was recruiting him, and he said no, an answer that he says will get him killed.
You know it's a long journey to get to the United States.
Yes, it would be better for us to make that difficult journey many times than staying here and losing our lives, he told us.
What do you worry about?
That we can die along the way, she said. They zip up their worldly possessions into 2 small backpacks, say their final goodbyes, and walk off to an uncertain future.
What do you think about right now when you watch him walk away?
Oh, tanto peligro en el camino.
All of the dangers that they're going to have to face along the way, she told us.
When do you think you'll see him again?
No sé.
I don't know.
No sé.
I don't know, she said. Axel told us all they have now is each other, what's in their backpacks, and God. In San Pedro Sula, I'm Jonathan Elias for Inside Your World.
And Special Counsel Robert Mueller's final report on the Russia investigation could be released in the coming months.
North Coast News national correspondent Michelle Macaluso has a story on what the chairman of one congressional committee is saying about their investigation into allegations of collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia.
After 2 years of investigating, more than 200 interviews, and more than 300,000 pages of documents reviewed, the chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee, Richard Burr, says so far they have found no evidence of collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. The Republican chairman made the comments in an interview to CBS News last week. He said, quote, "If we write a report based upon the facts that we have, then we don't have anything that would suggest there was collusion." President Trump reacted in a tweet. No collusion between Trump and Russia. Is anybody really surprised by this? The Senate Intelligence Committee's work is just one of many congressional committees looking at possible collusion between Trump associates and Russia. Last March, the Republican-led House Intelligence Committee ended its controversial Russia investigation and concluded that there was no evidence of collusion. The House is now under Democratic control. The new chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Adam Schiff, says he wants to reopen the Russia probe.
The Senate Intelligence Committee's investigation is not over yet, and Chairman Burr's comments do not exonerate the president since the committee has not released its final report. On Capitol Hill, I'm Michelle Macaluso.
Still ahead on North Coast News.
Well, imagine being stuck in the snow with nowhere to go. We'll tell you about the daring rescue that saved several people from the bitter Humboldt cold.
But first, we've got a recap on the snow numbers across the North Coast over the weekend.
Stay right there and you'll be hearing all that and more when we come back.
This is the ocean.
Oh, let's swim together in the water, clear and clean. It makes
Just listen.
us feel better.
There's so much we want to show her. We needed a car that would last long enough to see it all.
Subaru Outback. 98% are still on the road after 10 years.
Stop by today and check out what's new from Subaru. Craig Subaru, 5th and O, Eureka.
Yeah, I've seen a lot out here in the West. But a juicy charbroiled burger with a patty made from plants? Only the folks at Carl's Jr. can pull out something that bold. The new Beyond Famous Star with cheese. Only at Carl's Jr.
Are you pouring money down the drain?
Well, I just got my wireless bill.
You can get a free phone when you switch to U.S. Cellular.
No way. All that money wasted at the wrong provider.
No trade-in required to get a free Samsung Galaxy S9. Just switch to U.S. Cellular.
Visit Nutrien Wireless, your local U.S. Cellular authorized agent with locations in Fortuna and McKinleyville, for the best deals and great service on a network that works in the middle of anywhere.
Here at More Sleep World, how you sleep matters more to us than it might even matter to you. Sleep is so critical to your overall health and wellness. With the most diverse showrooms in the area, we have a bed for everybody. Beds for kids and college students, beds for the guest room, or a new luxury bed with an adjustable base for yourself. Come into any of our 4 store locations or visit us online. Sweet dreams, Humboldt County, from More Sleep World in Eureka, Arcata, Fortuna, and McKinleyville.
Yeah, I've seen a lot out here in the West. But a juicy charbroiled burger with a patty made from plants? Only the folks at Carl's Jr. can pull out something that bold. The new Beyond Famous star with cheese, only at Carl's Jr.
North Coast News. Severe weather first.
Well, it was a miraculous rescue in Humboldt. Harrowing moments yesterday for 4 people who the Humboldt County Sheriff's Office says were rescued after getting trapped in their car in the snow all night. It was just around 10:30 yesterday morning. The Sheriff's Office getting the call that 4 people reported they'd been stuck in the snow. Search and rescue teams gearing up with a snowcat and heading out to Bear Road. They say they had to trudge through some downed trees, even some deep snow. We know that area does get a lot of snow overnight. After hours, crews finding the car and the 4 people inside who they say were okay despite being cold. Sheriff's Office says if you are traveling in the snow this week, bring an emergency kit with you. So when was the last time the North Coast saw this much snow, and what's the most snow we've ever seen?
Our own ABC 23 Scott Rates braved that winter weather this weekend for us to find out.
I was really stoked to see that it snowed in McKinleyville, so I wanted to build some snowmen.
It's been more than 15 years since Humboldt County has seen significant snowfall at sea level.
I've been in the area for well over a decade.
I've never ever seen snow like this.
No, not like this here.
Our snow tour begins in McKinleyville. Folks, they're seeing 2 to 3 inches of snow at sea level.
I've seen like small amounts, like maybe like hand full size, but like that's it.
Who's this?
I raised a chameau, a Japanese game bird.
For farmers like Potter Rourke, the snow and cold temperatures means trouble for his livestock.
I got a couple on a heater on the back of my truck.
And just to give you an idea on how low the snow levels got here, I'm right at sea level. You see the ocean right off there in the distance. I'm just north of McKinleyville. There's still ice on the ground here this morning. This is what it looks like. You can see that, and then right over here, there's the snowfall. In Arcata, they saw at least an inch of snow. The streets slick, and at Humboldt State University, folks enjoying the rare sight. The National Weather Service on Woodley Island in Eureka seeing a ½ inch of the white stuff. Now, just to give you some context here, according to the National Weather Service, the last time Eureka saw ½ inch of snow was back in March of 1999. The most snow ever recorded at sea level in Humboldt County was back in January of 1907 when they saw 4.8 inches. Reporting in Humboldt County, it's snowy. Scott Rates.
I thought it was gorgeous.
Thank you, Scott. Stay with us. We'll be right back with a look at your headlines, county by county.
Do you want another truck, or a truck like no other? One that makes people say, they put what in that truck? One that has capabilities you can't find in other trucks and ushers in a whole new age. The all-new Ram 1500. Motor Trend's 2019 Truck of the Year. For deals like no other. Come in now during Ram Truck Month.
Or during Ram Truck Month, well-qualified returning lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2019 Ram 1500 for $249 a month.
You already know Nelson Floor Company in Eureka and McKinleyville, but you may not know they have a great selection of window coverings. Buy $500 or more in flooring and get a $100 gift certificate for window coverings right now at Nelson Floor.
Love is in the air at the Heights this February. Saturdays in the Pit, hit a suited blackjack with hearts and get $25 in promo chips, plus a chance to win cash and a Sunset Restaurant gift certificate. Fridays in Bingo, 5 lucky winners get to pick a heart to win up to $200. Plus, the Rainbow Buy-In is only $25 and extra packs are $3. So hit up the Heights and try your luck at blackjack and bingo. More entertainment, more fun, more winning. Visit SherryHeights.com for all the details. 5 minutes off the 101 in beautiful Trinidad.
This President's Day, there's big news at Nissan Now.
No brand received more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards for cars and trucks than Nissan. That means that people love their new Nissans. So we're thanking you with big savings on our lineup, including Rogue with Pro Pilot Assist.
For a limited time, get 0% financing for 60 months or save up to $3,000 on the 2019 Rogue.
Get to Nissan now, before these offers are yesterday's news.
You already know Nelson Floor Company in Eureka and McKinleyville, but you may not know they have a great selection of window coverings. Buy $500 or more in flooring and get a $100 gift certificate for window coverings right now at Nelson Floor.
The Doctors. Weekdays on ABC 23.
From the Terrorism Alert Desk in Washington, I'm Lindsay Mastis. What's believed to be the final battle against ISIS is now underway. Coalition forces raining down heavy machine gun fire and mortar rounds on ISIS fighters in eastern Syria. Many of those fighters are hiding in tunnels and trenches. President Trump says a formal announcement of ISIS's defeat could come this week. Threats from ISIS are still considered one of the top global threats. A Pew Research Center poll found ISIS only trails climate change among issues people see as worldwide threats. And in 8 nations, ISIS is seen as the top threat. Those countries include France, Russia, Italy, Indonesia, and the Philippines. And the U.S. military has stepped up attacks on al-Shabaab, al-Qaeda's branch in Somalia and East Africa. The news site Real Clear Defense reports U.S. Africa Command hit the terror group 14 times since the new year. From the Terrorism Alert Desk in Washington, I'm Lindsay Mastis.
It's the no commitment sale at Planet Fitness. For just 25 cents down, $10 a month with no commitment, you'll get tons of cardio and strength equipment, free fitness training, and a totally comfortable place to go at your happy pace. Get all this for just 25 cents down, $10 a month, no commitment. Now is the right time to join. Join in club or online at planetfitness.com. Planet Fitness, the judgment-free zone.
25 cents down, $10 a month. Join now. Planet Fitness at Bayshore Mall, Eureka.
Are you pouring money down the drain?
Well, I just got my wireless bill.
You can switch for free to U.S. Cellular.
Really?
And get a free phone when you switch.
Free phone? Huh.
Plus get paid back for data you don't use with the Unlimited with Payback plan.
No way. All that money wasted at the wrong provider.
Right now at U.S. Cellular, there's no trade-in required to get a free Samsung Galaxy S9. Just switch to U.S. Cellular.
By executive order, Toyota's President's Day sales event is in effect. Get here for the deals you've been waiting for. Stop, drop, roll, and ride into your Toyota dealer now. Just announced, lease a Corolla for just $199 a month with an extra $500 lease bonus cash. Or get up to $2,500 down payment match on Corolla. Toyota Safety Sense and Toyota Care comes standard. Toyota's President's Day sales event is on. Toyota, let's go places.
It's big. Quickly reconnects families. Same with Aladdin, the biggest in bail. No one has lower prices, is faster, or more professional. Aladdin Bail Bonds. Bigger because we're better.
Kimmel's all new. Do it! With the hardest working man in showbiz, Steve Harvey.
Leave no check behind.
Plus Adam Devine.
My career's doing this.
Music from Leon Bridges. And it's the Bachelor finale.
A total surprise.
Jimmy Kimmel Live. New tonight on ABC.
Weekdays on ABC 23.
Here are today's headlines county by county, starting in Humboldt County, where Drug Task Force agents say they made the largest one-time heroin bust in Humboldt County history. Officials say 2 men from Sonora, Mexico were arrested with 12 pounds of heroin.
In Del Norte, a woman goes missing. Kimberly Madsen was last in contact with her family February 3rd. The Del Norte County Sheriff's Office believes she may be in the San Francisco area.
Over to Trinity County now, where health officials are urging the public to get vaccinated. This is after a major measles outbreak to our north, and now the first confirmed case right here in California. All right, and if you haven't yet, go over to our Facebook page, North Coast News TV. Like us, subscribe, follow our latest news events. Me and Nazy actually have Facebook profile pages. Follow our news events as they go down.
Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. Hey, you know what? We have just a few seconds, so I wanted to let everybody know. If you don't have anything planned this weekend for, Valentine's Day celebration, there is this event happening. We've got 40 seconds, I'm going to tell you. There's an event happening at Sequoia Park. I'll have more information for you on my Facebook page. We'll also run a story on it this week. It's going to be fun.
Are you teasing it right now?
It's for couples. I don't have enough time to really get into it, but it's going to be fun.
Event,
if you don't have anything to do, it's a couples competition, kind of like a scavenger hunt.
And trivia questions
and trivia,
and stuff.
And then you can win these amazing prizes in Humboldt County.
I'm going.
Yeah, and then you get to watch The Notebook under the stars.
And I'm going. I love The Notebook. The Notebook's a great movie.
Yes, it is. Feel it. Anyway, that's what we're doing this weekend. Have a good night. Thanks for being here. Don't miss Daybreak in the morning.
Have a good night, North Coast. We love you.